All right. Keeping up with the times. Onwards and upwards. How about a look at our grand prize for the OP series here? And we have Assimilation Target Prime. And I have very bad pictures of it, but hey, we're going with it. So, man oh man, where to start? Have either of you guys
Shit.
seen a spoiler of the base chit for it? Otherwise, I'm going to assume it's the same as the Galaxy class.
No, I have.
Uh, I seem to recall hearing somewhere that it's 90-90, but I don't know. That may be making that up in my head. So I'm gonna assume 90-90.
That's what I am too, since it is still a Galaxy class, and the only other one, the closest one we had was like the Constitution class, and that didn't change much about it, just some of the stats. So, starting with our very first Mirror Universe ship ever, we have the USS Enterprise D, Mirror Universe faction.
Why on the solicit it was Federation? Why?
It is a 5-1-5-3, so even more guns than your regular Galaxy class. During the roll attack dice step of the combat phase, you may disable one of your active shields to gain +1 attack die. More damage! 6 attack dice on a non-Borg ship. What? And
Battleship had it.
True. But this ship costs 28 points. That is almost 10. Is it 10 points less? It's probably like 8 points less than the Battleship, right? Battleship was 36?
I think so.
Sounds right. Yeah.
The generic might have been 34. I'm not sure. But this thing is definitely a war beast, as might be noticed by the fact that it also has 3 weapon slots and 2 crew slots.
Who uses 3 weapon slots?
I don't know, but I'm going to assume that it's someone who loves their antimatter mines. That's all. That's the only thing I can think of right now.
Yeah, or quantum torpedoes, secondary torpedo launcher.
That could work.
Secondary torpedo launcher isn't unique.
It is not.
You can.
I don't have a southern one, so.
But you cannot launch secondary torpedoes off of secondary torpedoes.
Right.
I see.
But
or quantum secondary and an antimatter mine.
Or you know what you could do? You could do maybe quantum antimatter mine aft phase cannon.
That is exactly what I was also thinking of.
Good call.
Because this one does not have, since it's not the Enterprise D from the regular universe, it does not have its 360 arc at range 1 to 2. So that rear shooting arc is probably going to come in a lot more handy.
Yes.
Right, which is why I don't like this ship that much. 6 attack dice is nice, but the Galaxy maneuvers like a pig. And unless you're running something like Engage or I guess Stargazer Picard, you might really have trouble keeping people in your 90-90 arcs.
I find that 90-degree rear arcs usually aren't too bad, but 90-degree forward arcs aren't nearly as fun, especially if you don't have the come about. But yeah, it is nice though that if you combo this with the phase cannon can go up to 4 dice as well.
Yes,
that's true. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. That's pretty potent.
But yeah, speaking of the maneuver dial, it is slightly different than the regular Galaxy class. But, I mean, the only thing it changes out is it trades out the full reverse 2 for a forward 6 red maneuver. Not sure if that's really a good thing.
Not a fan.
I'd really rather have the 2 reverse, but hey, maybe someone finds a use for the 6 forward.
Yeah.
I'd really rather have transwarp drive.
Yeah, I agree.
If I wanted to do that. But yeah, but overall, you know, considering... Oh, right, not Federation. Well, I guess this is a good start for the Mirror Universe faction. I would probably still run it with my Federation fleet, because I'm not restricted like that, but...
Yeah, it's... I mean, look, it's not bad. It's not bad by any stretch of the... I want to say, like, it's a solid tier 1.5 ship. It's just... This is the prize ship, you know?
A grand prize ship.
Yeah.
At least we get a lot of cards with it. I think it's pretty
Yeah, and
good.
at
I mean,
least
it's
you can
definitely
play
better
it.
than like the battle cruiser, or not the battle cruiser, the battleship.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see it in quite a few places. And or failing that, I'm sure we will see Assimilation Target Prime in some places.
Yep.
Oh
So
yeah.
this version of the Galaxy class is 30 points, a little bit more. It is both Borg and Mirror Universe. Good old Borg, they can use anything. 5154, so it gets an extra shield. The action on the unique one is spend a drone token to repair a damage to your hull or shields, and that's an action. Which is interesting because its action bar is evade, target lock, scan, and regenerate. So no battle stations, but you get to regenerate for your hull. And what I'm really interested in are the upgrade slots. The unique has a Borg slot, tech slot, 2 weapons, and a crew. The non-unique has 1 of each, still including the Borg slot.
Hmm.
Well, Will, you're getting closer to that ship that can carry an assimilation tubules, but
A
you're
cheap
not quite
assimilation
there.
tubule. I'm not sure it's quite there yet, but I mean, it still seems like a pretty darn solid ship to me.
Oh no, it is. It's just the exact. I figured it out. The exact number where you can run 3 assimilators in a 100-point build is a 24-point ship. So, holding out for a hero.
All the assimilation all the time. But yeah, this one looks like it's going to have the same problems as the other one we were talking about, since, again, it doesn't have the 360 arc that either the Borg or the Enterprise D are good for.
This
Throwing...
is going to have a lot of the same problems that the Sung does.
Except for the fact that the Sung has a come about, which is really nice, and this one will not.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
On the bright...
It is nice to have a cheaper Borg ship, though.
It is also nice to have a tech slot.
Yeah.
That auxiliary control room comes in real handy.
Yeah. Especially the tech slot on the generic.
Yes. Tech slot, Borg slot. Not as many weapon slot, but hey, after that, all you need really is the aft particle cannon, so you can shoot something out your rear.
Yeah.
Something reusable. And I think it'll look pretty good. I'm really curious about the action, which is basically a little bit regenerate on steroids. But for the most part, I don't know. I guess you could use the Queen to regenerate, to spend a drone for the Uber regeneration, and then get the regular regeneration as well. But it's
Well, the
handy
nice
to
thing
read.
is that action doesn't stop you from attacking.
That's true.
Correct.
And it does not reduce your attack die either, like most shield repairs.
Right.
And regenerate doesn't fix hull, but this will fix hull and shield. I'm sorry, regenerate doesn't fix shield.
Correct.
It only fixes hull.
So I think it's an interesting ability, but compared to some other ship abilities, I'm not sure if it's what I want from a unique ship. And unlike other unique ships, I don't see the upgrade bar being that massively better than its generic version. Like anything I was going to put on this in the first place, I could probably fit on the generic for 2 points cheaper.
Yeah. I could see this being really annoying if that Borg slot is Borg blade of armor, though.
Isn't it always?
No.
Could
Well,
be tubules.
always annoying.
Yeah. It typically is. I mean, that's a nice upgrade.
All right. So, moving past the ships, we have the biggest disappointment of this pack, in my opinion. Makes me cry to myself to sleep at night. We have hoity-toity William T. Riker.
Why is it not Beard Riker?
We won't go back!
We won't go back!
No, we won't go back! That's the one I wanted. That's the one I think everybody wanted. Even the talent is used with that Riker, and we get this Riker.
What's actually funny to me is a friend of mine in our local Attack Wing group posted, he said, I actually feel like Riker in that episode The Borg are everywhere in my meta.
The Federation is gone, man. All right, I suppose we should actually go over this guy's actual ability. William T. Riker. These are unique. These are the Mirror Universe unique. They have the reversed unique faction symbol, or the reversed unique symbol. So you can run this Riker with another Riker. That is regular unique.
Not that the Riker we have right now is any good, but there's always hope in the Enterprise.
There's also Terry has speculated that the Valjean, the Maquis Raider coming out this winter, will have Thomas Riker, and then apparently in her original cut of the Assimilation Target Prime spoiler video, spent a good 5 to 10 minutes fantasizing about 3 Rikers at once.
All the Riker, all the time. All right, so William T. Riker, Captain, 7 skill, 1 talent, Mirror Universe faction, 4 points. Each time you perform a battle station, an evade, or a target lock action, place an additional token of the appropriate type on this card. During the activation phase, you may spend 1 token from this card. Sorry, my resolution's bad. And perform the corresponding action as a free action. I like this one.
I do too. It's
Go
ahead.
I didn't like it. And then I just had a thought. You could put this with the first officer card, which allows whenever you take in one of these token actions, you get an additional token in exchange for an auxiliary power token. You could do that with this Riker on the tiny prize, and that might actually even be better than Janeway.
I was going to say, I would put this on almost any ship. Basically, William T. Riker acts like an action bank. Because it doesn't say there's any limit on the number of tokens you can have on his card.
Yeah, that's true.
During the activation, you may spend 1 token from this card and perform the corresponding action as a free action. Now, are we assuming that it's limited to only exactly 1?
Yes.
That's how I read it.
Okay.
So you can have a bank of, 3 target locks, 6 evades, and 5 battle stations, but you can only do 1 of those actions free.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, you guys! I just realized something.
What'd you realize?
During the activation phase, you may spend 1 token from this card and perform the corresponding action as a free action. Each time you perform a lock, evade, or battle stations action, place 1 additional token of that type on this card.
It's
I think
Are you saying this is going to be infinite recursion?
Yes.
He triggers himself.
That is right.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I'm trying to find some way to counteract you on this, but I'm not seeing it.
Card.
Because his wording says each time you perform, place an additional, and then you spend 1 to perform the action.
So once you take a battle station action the first time, he will always be able to take battle stations as a bonus action.
Yes.
Correct.
He's his own flagship.
Oh my God! Oh my
without
God!
The stat boost.
Just as I said. So this guy with the fleet captain, with the first officer card on the tiny prize, will get 2 of every token every turn.
No, because we just said we can only take 1 token off of him per turn. So we'll get 2 of 3 tokens.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
That's about even with Janeway. Probably a little bit better. Yeah, it's got to be better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's about even. You're
again,
right.
this is not saying that he is performing the action, not from the ship bar. So the original Enterprise wouldn't work very well with him.
No, it's not from his action bar, is it?
Well, it just says you can perform it as a free action. It doesn't say you're performing it from the ship's action bar. So
Oh yeah, you
I'm
know what? Yeah, because if your ship doesn't have that action and you somehow, okay, yeah, you're
mhm.
correct.
Still, it definitely puts him on par with like Jean-Luc.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah,
Jean-Luc.
and you know what's actually interesting is if you can somehow with disobey orders, say, get a battle stations or evade or well, I think everything is target lock except the vote. But if you can somehow get one of these tokens on him that the ship itself doesn't have, you then like permanently can do that
Hmm.
Riker on a Klingon ship. That's what this
with
does.
battle stations. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
afterwards,
it's
you can do.
useful.
So you can put the battle station flagship on it, which normally would take an action, and then after Riker's done it as an action, he can do it every other turn as a free action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can run him alongside Captain Picard
Yeah.
and Gul Dukat.
Wow. Oh wow, that's stupid.
Actions for everybody.
Battle stations everywhere.
God, and you know, you don't even have to engage on the first turn with your opponent, so you can just that free action that you normally are just like whatever, it doesn't matter what I do. You can just give them a token, start it going.
Yeah.
Get the engine running. So
Oh my
yeah, William T.
God.
Riker, pretty darn good captain.
Did they playtest these at all?
This isn't broken though. The wording is perhaps broken.
It's
That
really
he shouldn't be able to trigger himself.
Yeah, that's true.
If
I mean,
it
he's
wasn't for
essentially
that,
still he's no more broken than Picard in any way, shape, or form, though. I mean, that's the
no.
big thing.
Yeah, but Picard is one of the is like the best captain in the game.
That is true. I didn't say it was a good argument. I just made the argument.
Should we talk about? Can we talk about something else, please?
All right. How about Crazy Beard Riker's favorite phrase?
We won't go back.
All right. Mirror. It is a mirror unique 5-point talent mirror universe. If your ship, its captain, or any of its upgrades are targeted by an upgrade on an enemy ship, you may discard this card before that upgrade takes effect to immediately make one free attack against that ship, if possible. If the enemy ship is destroyed by this free attack, the enemy upgrade does not take effect. What?
I don't care.
It's a counterattack that happens in the action phase.
I don't care if it happen. I don't care if this card is good or not. I want to play this card just so somebody can do something and I can just scream, "We won't go back!"
That's like for the same reason I wanted the Gavroche, so I could just call my opponent Javert. Give up, Javert. It's not worth it. But yeah, so
I didn't even think of that.
so the myriad of things that this works with, not the least of which is probably going to go with, we're probably going to go with assimilation tubules,
Yeah.
or as if you want to throw it on a Borg ship, you can use it against Klingon boarding party.
Mm. Miles O'Brien.
Or O'Brien or Kirk. Oh, you know what? Does not work against Kirk. Kirk is not an upgrade.
Any of it, ship, captain, or any of its upgrades. Admirals? No, we have no idea what an admiral is yet. No one's made the decision.
Right. So in other words, if you have we won't go back and I use Kirk's action against your ship's upgrades, you can't use we won't go back.
I'm gonna have to look up fleet action.
Yeah, what's targeting it?
Because I think a fleet action counts as a ship action, but we'd have to look into that later. But,
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, we'll worry about Kirk at another time. Against everything
you know what
else,
though? You know what though? It wouldn't work against Captain Admiral Kirk. Because a captain isn't an upgrade.
But this card says if your ship, its captain.
No. In other words, if I
Right.
use Admiral Kirk's action.
Oh, gotcha. You may discard this card before the end. So it has to be an enemy upgrade, so it won't work against other players' ships or captains.
Right.
I guess we'll assume that Admiral doesn't count as either of those either. But I mean, really, we're using this against the big three: the Miles O'Brien, the Klingon boarding party, the projected stasis field. Even it will
Hmm.
stop. Oh well, not necessarily stop, but give you an attack
Mhm.
against.
This is, I mean, this is a good meta card for
Hold up,
Borg.
guys. I think I lost us.
Whoa, are you there? Hello?
I'm here.
And I'm here.
It was a
I'm
matter of
here.
the stream. Hey guys.
Oh, we lost the stream.
All right, looks like we're going again. All right, so we're
Good.
still talking about we won't go back. It works against upgrades, so it won't work against other ships and captains. But I mean, really, the biggest things we're worrying about right now for disruption is what, like assimilation tubules, Miles O'Brien. Maybe if you're like me, maybe Croesus,
Yeah.
Klingon boarding party.
Klingon boarding party, projected stasis field.
Mhm.
Now, technically, this would go off before projected stasis field, which makes me a little sad because I'd really like them to. Well, I don't know. If someone uses projected stasis field against We Won't Go Back, does that ship drop their shields to activate the action, and then you get to shoot at them while their shields are down before the action takes effect? Because it obviously happens before it takes effect.
Projected stasis field doesn't cause the using ship to lose its shield. It causes the losing ship to roll -2 attack dice.
Oh, does it? I thought you had to drop shields too.
Nope, that's why it's amazing.
Look at my projected stasis field. Quick check. Projected stasis field. If your ship is not cloaked, disable all of your remaining shields and discard this upgrade to target a ship at range 1 to 2.
Wow, I've been playing that entirely wrong for months.
Cheater!
Hmm.
But yeah, if you have to disable it as part of a cost, normally, especially with things like Varel, it has been ruled before that you pay all the costs before when you say you're going to activate it. So like if someone was attacking with
Yeah, in
torpedo,
that
they'd have to spend
case,
their target lock, and then you would Varel. So this seems like it would be the same timing.
yeah, in that case, I think you're right.
And then you blow it out of the sky while it has no shields and isn't cloaked. Oh, my
So
Borg are gonna love it.
this is a Borg weapon against projected stasis field, which really was the only card they were afraid of.
Hmm.
Great.
Isn't it beautiful? David, any last thoughts on this card before we move on?
Um, I tend to like cards that let you make an attack outside of the attacking phase, and that's what this can let you do. So I like the card. I don't even mind that it's a discard because one use of it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it'll change up everything, but it's a nice option to have.
I guess it does also beg the fact, since it's happening in the action phase, can you use your tokens?
Hmm.
Because most of the tokens say only during the combat phase. In the rulebook, anyway.
Yeah. Well, things. I'm guessing things like Captain Cisco, Worf's captain ability,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that would work.
But spending battle stations token, spending your target lock,
Uh,
or even your
Cloak
cloak.
would
Even cloak shouldn't work.
explicitly not work. Chris Guild updated the FAQ the other day, you guys, with one question, which got asked in OP1.
And he thumbs up one or two others.
Yeah, I know, but in all seriousness, it got added to the FAQ. If you are attacked with a cloak token outside of the combat phase, you do not get the extra dice.
Ah, gotcha. For all intents and purposes. So yeah, this is a great anti-cloak weapon too.
as if Cloak needed one more thing to hurt it.
I know, right? So yeah,
We
we
won't
won't
go
go
back!
back. Pretty darn good talent in my opinion.
Mm,
It's nice that at least it can only be used once, right?
For now.
for now.
All right, let's keep it moving because there are a lot more. There are still quite a few cards to cover. We've got Mirror Universe Wharf. Now we have 4 wharfs altogether. 4-point Mirror Universe Crew. If you inflict at least 1 damage, normal or critical, to an enemy ship during the deal damage step of the combat phase, you may discard this card to inflict 1 additional normal damage to that ship. Huh? For 4 points? What do you think, David? While we see if Tucker gets back on the line.
So it's the secondary ability of quantum torpedoes
For 4 points.
for 4 points and
a discard.
1 use. I think I'd rather run a red shirt.
Sorry, I lost you guys for a second. What happened?
We're on Mirror Universe Wharf. You know what he does?
Yep, and he's strictly worse than that 2-point Klingon guy from the blind buy.
Yeah.
Panera. He only this guy only works in the Wharf only works in the combat phase. He only does 1 damage.
Well, you need to hit with him. The other guy just adds 1 damage.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, does the other guy do it before or after the defender rolls?
Good question. Don't know. Would have to look.
Because this one at least you know how many evades there are going to be before you activate him, but he might be good for getting that last shot.
Yeah. The Kunivas, the Klingon crew member, works during the modify attack die step. So you have to act before you know what they've got.
So being able to see your opponent's roll before you activate it, is it worth 2 extra points?
No. Especially because, by the way, Worf doesn't let you turn a missed attack into a hit. In other words, if you have quantum torpedoes, he doesn't let you change 0 hits into 1.
Right.
Yeah, you have to have done damage to start. You have to be doing damage to start with.
Yeah, which is...
I was going to say, the only other thing I could see this being useful for is... I think he gets around interface generator.
Not nearly enough of a use to make me want to run him.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
but I found something.
Back in the early days of the Dominion War, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
These days, no.
These days, it's the Borg now, darn it.
Yeah, we're not dealing with, 1 hit. We're dealing with, 15 billion.
Yep. All right. Speaking of the Borg, ready to see some Borg upgrades?
Sure.
We won't go back!
Too late. Regeneration sequencers. A Borg upgrade, which is both Mirror Universe and Borg. Interesting combination, I guess. For 5 points. Whenever one of your upgrades is discarded, repair 1 damage to your hull, or you may discard this card and spend a drone token to repair 2 damage to your hull. I don't think it's awful.
I would never run this over a blade of hull armor.
If I was really needed those 5 points, I would consider it a substitution.
You
but
have
only on
to
like
discard
the cube. It would have to be on something that has a lot of
hull.
hull.
To equal.
No, 4 cards.
Mm-hmm. Then again, I also like to run things like Croesus and stuff on like the Sung. So I would get more the Scout Cube and stuff. No, I mean I almost thought, man, could you run this on the Scout Cube? But the Scout Cube only has 2 hull.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not working quite like I hoped it would. But
and Borg ships have to regenerate anyway. I mean,
it basically puts regenerate. It kind of regenerates as a free action that doesn't cost you your attack. But I mean, with your mobility and your ability to get around, I mean, you shouldn't be in a position where you need to regenerate.
And if you are, a blade of hull armor is better because it also negates criticals.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just not too big of a fan of hull repair. Like shield repair, I can live with because shields are the first thing that get damaged. But hull, I mean, half the time if you're getting damage to your hull, you're dying that turn.
Yeah. And not just so much that is that any hull repair for the Borg in a Borg slot has to go up against a blade of hull armor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing I can really say good about this is it is cheap. 5 points is the cheapest Borg, one of the cheapest Borg upgrades we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's at least saving grace, but
I'd run it over scavenged parts at least.
sure.
Maybe.
So
You could run it if you have 2 slots. You could run it with scavenged parts. Every time you discard, you get a drone token and a hull repair.
You know something? I might actually. Oh no, the Assimilation Target Prime only has one
Yeah,
Borg slot, doesn't it? Yeah.
maybe some cloaked cube shenanigans.
Mm.
Who knows?
maybe.
But yeah, no, not really. So not really the thing. But it might have its uses, but it's really not in the same tier as a lot of the other things that we're looking for.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, continuing biogenic charge because the
Here
Borg
we
needed
go.
another weapon. 7 attack dice, range 2 to 3. It is a Borg and a weapon upgrade. It takes both slots to deploy that upgrade to your ship. It is a Mirror Universe Borg 8-pointer. You need to attack and spend your target lock. Spend your target lock and discard this card to perform the attack. In addition to normal damage, the opposing ship must discard one of its crew upgrades of its choice for each damage you assign to that ship's hull. Max 2. Add a drone token to your captain card for each crew upgrade that was discarded with this attack. You cannot exceed your starting number of drone tokens.
Not worth the cost.
Overkill. David?
Yeah, it is a bit of overkill.
Have you ever heard of the win more button?
Well,
Yeah.
it's not even just so much that. It's that honestly, for 8 points and 2 slots, one of which is, a blade of hull armor or assimilation tubules,
Mm-hmm.
to use once and requiring a target lock, I'd rather just shoot them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, because every ship that could take this has at least 5 attack dice.
Mm-hmm. So you might
Well,
get
not even
one
just-
extra attack die out of it if you're not using like a flagship.
Yeah.
But
Well, not even just that. I mean, the action economy required, and you're giving up one of your Borg slots to use something once.
yeah, you gotta discard it. I was gonna say, if you're dealing damage, if you're able to deal damage in the first place, the crew aren't really helping that much. And if you need to get rid of crew in the first place, this weapon is not doing it as well as assimilation tubules.
Right.
Well, I mean, this helps the Borg Queen get tokens back, I guess.
This helps you when you're already winning. And
Yeah.
that's not really cards you generally need.
Yeah,
Correct.
and the fact that you're getting stuff back for doing hull damage, well, you're already hurting a ship enough that they're not lasting long enough to make much more use of the crew that you're making them discard anyways.
Well, I'm not focusing so much on the crew discard for all the reasons you're saying. The getting the drone tokens back as no action effectively except the target lock is pretty nice, but I'm not really sure it's worth the rest of this,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
Well, plus, you can run into a fleet that doesn't have crew, and now you've wasted points.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I'm wasting points, I'd still rather waste them on assimilation tubules.
Yeah.
Alright, so... Alright, let's keep it moving then. Other things that come in this pack, quantum torpedoes, Mirror Universe version. Same as regular quantum torpedoes. They do their thing.
Yeah.
Last card we have is Fire All Weapons. 5 attack dice, range 2 to 3. A Mirror Universe 7-point weapon upgrade. You need a target lock. Spend your target lock and discard this card to perform this attack. You may fire this weapon. You may fire... Sorry, I'm on a low resolution here. You may fire... I believe it's just you may fire another weapon after this attack. What is it?
It's disable.
Oh, is it a disable?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
At
You
least
may immediately
that's what
make
the
one additional
transcript
attack
says.
with your primary weapon at a different enemy ship. This ship costs +5 points on a Galaxy, except on a Galaxy Intrepid or whatever the last one is, Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Yeah. So one thing that's really frustrating about this is that of all upgrades in this pack, this most should have been Federation because it was actually the Prime Universe Enterprise D that fired all weapons in this episode.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, the picture is from yesterday's Enterprise.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
That would make more
I'm not
sense.
100% sure, but it's the mirror Enterprise D that was outfitted for combat with the Klingons.
Okay, I see that.
All right. But fire all weapons. Essentially, this is volley of torpedoes, yes?
Slightly better because as I understand it, one additional attack with your primary weapon. Okay, I'm pretty sure that means you can fire your 360 with your Enterprise D or Voyager.
That'd be pretty nice, yeah, because that is not a weapon upgrade, so it is a primary attack.
Yeah, it says instead of firing with your primary weapon. This says fire your primary weapon. And Voyager says instead of doing that, I'm going to shoot at, whatever I want with 4 dice.
It'd be a little hard because you have to be exactly range 2, but I think it's not that hard.
No, it's a different ship. So you're shooting at one ship in front of you, range 2 to 3, and another that's next to you.
Sounds good to me.
Right. This gives us some hope that this card in a Federation version is coming with the Enterprise E.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it does say Sovereign class.
Yes.
And that would be really cool.
Then again, of course, it's it also says Intrepid and didn't come with the Voyager, so.
True.
But now we have upgrades for it to make it even more Voyager-only friendly. All right, so fire all weapons, yay or nay?
Yeah.
I don't play pure Federation as much. Well, okay. I'm sorry, this isn't technically a Federation upgrade, but since it is all Federation-class ships on its text, I'm considering it pretty Federation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I don't like it as much as other stuff, but I like it.
I suppose it would combo neat with the Mirror D, because then you could get 6 attack dice out of this and 6 attack dice out of the regular attack.
Yeah, and that's not bad against 2 ships. That's actually even better than the Borg is doing.
Right.
Not bad. I could see it being used. Not sure if I'm using it yet, though.
It's got potential.
So cool. But, I mean, Grand Prize as a whole. 4 ship cards, 7 upgrades. 1 ship that is not that maneuverable, I guess. I don't know.
And the faction is weird. Look, as a faction pure player, if they had said the Stargazer was the grand prize and this was the OP3 prize, I wouldn't have complained.
Yeah. Well, I would have complained because I want 30 tactical stations. But, David, what are your thoughts?
I'm not overwhelmed, but I'm not underwhelmed. I like that a grand prize isn't feeding into the rich get richer.
Yeah, that's true.
That is nice.
It's
I don't feel like
I'd said back in January, February. I was kind of glad that the Dominion Deep Space Nine Grand Prize didn't come with cards because I didn't want it to feed the rich get richer.
Because then only one person in an entire area would have one.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Riker is extremely playable out of this, but everything else, I like fire all weapons. I really want to shout we won't go back at people, but none of this is necessary, especially considering it's all Mirror Universe faction.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing that is nice, you don't need multiples of it. I mean, I guess multiple fire all weapons have a place.
I thought Fire All Weapons was unique.
It is not.
Oh.
But outside of that, you don't need more than one. And that's a good thing in a grand prize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see like everything I like. The only ones I really want are We Won't Go Back and maybe the generic Borg version of the ship.
Yeah.
And you only need one for that. Fire all weapons, like you said, there seems like there might be a good chance that would also come out in the E.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 of those would be the most I would ever need, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, grand prize, nothing to sneeze at, but not exactly as popular as some of the other things. I guess they're keeping on par with other. It's kind of on par with other prize ships, but you do get a few more things than you normally would.
That's true.
I guess it's a good. I'm fine with that as a prize ship.
Yeah.
Again, for the reasons the rich get richer thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And not feeding into that. But with the end of that, how are we going to win these things?